While it's difficult for people to self-audit when in government in Nigeria, after all, there are no KPIs, it's expedient oftentimes to retreat and assess genuine feedback. Corruption, our fight, their perception. Recently, a global anti-corruption watchdog, Transparency International, in their latest Corruption Perception Index of 180 countries in the world, rated Nigeria as the fourth most corrupt country in sub-Saharan Africa. This current rating has been a source of concern to government and anti-corruption agencies like EFCC and ICPC, including the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, who variously condemned the report, claiming that it was oblivious of the achievement of the Buhari administration's great stride in its resolve to tackle corruption, though the organization stood firmly behind its report. White one can understand the grounds of the EFCC over the report, as they have had to put in a lot in the fight against corruption, including various successful recovery of looted funds, prosecution and conviction of criminal cases, about 819 convictions between January and October 2019, the highest since it was established, despite their refusal to investigate some cases of high-profile politicians who are currently in APC or serving in government. One cannot say the same of their sister agencies like the ICPC and the Nigerian police. It is a notorious fact that the police are demotivated, not well remunerated, and intentionally starve of funds for reasons best known to government, despite insisting on fighting corruption. One cannot say the same of the ICPC, who, in spite of huge budgetary allocation and a chairman who is a professor of law, has been consistently enmeshed in one controversy or the other, either disobedience of existing court orders, like the DSS, to intentionally misleading the court or ambushing respondents in matter they have taken to court, the latest being the Pinnacle Communication saga, to the extent that some people have even called for its merger with the EFCC. I think so too, because it's simply a duplication of the job of the police and the EFCC. Also, despite the fact that the job could have been handled by the police if well remunerated and properly structured, the creation of another presidential panel on recovery of government assets, whose former chairman, though now a fugitive, recently accused the chairman of ICPC of being behind his travail for fear that he will be used to replace the ICPC chair, is a discussion for another day, all over offices. But the Nigerian government and the Attorney General of the Federation should take cognizance of the fact that Transparency International, as its name implies, does not look at the cases prosecuted in court in rating countries on perceived index for corruption and corrupt tendencies. As according to them, these only show how effective prosecutors, the courts and the media are in investigating and exposing corruption. After all, if you are effective, why wait for people to steal, then run after them? Why not make it impossible for them to steal? They would rather look at the perception of Nigerians about the Nigerian Immigration Services, the custom, the National Assembly, judiciary, ease of doing business without having to grease palm, or to settle to get contract by passing of our procurement laws and procedures in awarding contracts, getting employment, gaining admission, executive disregard for the extant laws of the land, especially the Freedom of Information Act, and disobedience to court order. With all of these indicators, even the government will agree with me that we have not even started the fight against corruption. So if we must improve in our perception rating, we must stop fighting corrupt individuals only and concentrate on fighting corruption by putting in place robust institutions that would prevent people from dipping their hands in what my Egbon, Jimmy Disu, would call the cookie jar. Government should know that nepotism and favoritism are the high variant of corruption. Somebody should remind government that in the eyes of these rating agencies, election rigging, vote buying, refusal to render party election account publicly, indiscriminate abuse of public office are the biggest form of corruption. No nation leaves its police the way we have left ours and expect to be taken seriously or rated high in the fight against corruption. Because a compromised case of minor stealing today at the police station is a potential opportunity to embezzle and or mismanage and abuse government for tomorrow. Therefore, I would advocate that every public official must submit themselves for public scrutiny and accountability, and not the secret one currently being conducted by CCB and DSS. This is to ascertain every source of their wealth and publicly declare same, and make it easily accessible through Freedom of Information request. Also, as custodian of public institutions, they must use same facilities with the rest of us, like hospitals, schools, travel by road, reduce the number of security personnel guiding them, no sirens. That way, they will feel the pain the masses have to contend with daily. And if we all feel the pain, they'll put the right people in there to fix it and appropriate the actual sum meant for fixing it instead of stealing same.